Where do I start? It's like spin the wheel, make a deal. Halloween Havoc 1997.
Oh, God.
Tell me you're only 23.
Tony Schiavone turned into a monster in the prelims of the show. Pretty scary. Things that you remember as professional wrestling goes along. But I'm going to, you know what? You know, the one thing that I missed when Lone Star was coming up to do his thing with me is the Walker, Texas Ranger theme. I missed it. I didn't hear the eyes of a ranger are upon you. Totally missed it. You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that Chuck Norris is the only man to give it to Bruce Lee like he did. It's too bad that Chuck Norris turned into Lone Star and became a professional wrestler. But that's what happens when you take on Bruce Lee. Other than that,
Here they come.
Red and Blues. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when DeMarcus is here for you? DeMarcus is missing. I miss DeMarcus too. DeMarcus and I have had quite the feud over the last year. One of the most memorable opponents would be DeMarcus James, even though the sheet that the boys read did not reflect so. But that's because I wasn't on the email blasting it in 6 different aliases saying that my feud was the best feud of them all. That's okay. The absence of Terry Kirk tonight, he tried to make it, but he kept going around in circles with his bad eye.
Oh, three-pointer.
That's my brother that has been 3 years older than me, yet 3 inches shorter than me since birth. And I love my brother. My brother has come into his own business down in California. He is, like Easy would say, he is the dope man. He does his business.
Independent pharmaceutical.
Okay, he is an independent pharmaceutical distributor. In Southern California, that's technical talk for government, for mule. By mule, I mean he carries the happy drugs. And by happy drugs, I mean marijuana. That's what he does. I don't know how many times that my brother has called me and asked me what I'm doing, and I've never heard from my brother. I don't hear from my brother for like 3 months, and he calls me and he says, "What are you doing? How's it going?" And that's, you know, we have a conversation, my brother and I. But it always ends with, "Oh shit, I gotta go, cops been following me for a mile and a half." And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, "Dude, I got all this weed in my truck and it stinks really bad." So I love my brother to death, and I wish that he could be here tonight. He said that he wished that he could be here tonight, but again, like I said, he's running around in circles at Disneyland with his bad eye. My brother, he called me the other day. He was very distraught because I wouldn't let him on It's a Small World. He said that he was too short to ride.
What the?
He's going to see this. You know what I'm doing is I'm probing. I'm not in that way either. I'm probing to get my brother to come up because he has not seen his niece since she was born. And I keep telling him that she asks about Uncle Terry even though it's in the form of a headbutt and some claws to my eyeballs. Let's see here. Bob Hardy, I'm going to move on to you. You have been coming to wrestling, and it has only been until now that I have noticed that you've been coming to wrestling. And the reason that is because you've been so quiet, because every time you were at Sandy's or another show, you were always stuffing your face with either Brian Spence's junk or a hot dog.
Three-pointer!
But Bob, I want to tell you this right now, that they don't get any better than you as far as fans go. And I thank you for challenging me every single week by being vocal. Because there are times that when I have gotten DeMarcus just tongue-tied and he couldn't say anything, that you were like the follow-up man. So one might say, Bob Hardy, that you're DeMarcus's backdoor man. Maybe. Once you go black, you never go back. I understand.
You guys are like an opposite driving Miss Daisy.
But you are a great fan, Bob, and I thank you for your support. And I know that you always say I have to spread it out evenly. You have to spread it. And I appreciate that because you support independent professional wrestling
As a whole.
as a whole.
I support the wrestling.
You support the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Not the wrestling. It could be the crappiest wrestling in the world. But we're not going to talk about Portland Wrestling Uncut. We're going to talk about you. You could be the crappiest wrestling in the world, and you would still support it because it's independent and you love the guys more than you like the wrestling. So, Bob, from the bottom of my heart, when you say 13 years, it's actually been 16.
You said you were only 23.
22 years ago.
That means you started
And
when you're
holding.
6.
And holding. 'Cause I have a holding birthday, too.
Yeah, we hear about that.
But yes, Bob, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being such a great fan and not coming on to me at every wrestling show on Sunday. I appreciate that.
Every other one.
What do I say about you? What do I say about you? You've come into your own, Anthony Shoe. You've come into your own.
Mr. Shoe.
And you recently talked about positive affirmation and positive lifestyle changes and being positive in your attitude. And in Big River I grew up and it says positive, it says attitude is everything. And certain wrestlers that we have no verification of credentials to Stetson say that its attitude is deadly.
Oh, shit.
So I just want you to carry this on as we sit here and know that in time you will become great in the fans' eyes. But the minute that you become great in your eyes, it's time for you to get in your car, grab your wrestling bag, put it in the trunk, go home, put your tapes in, and watch from the outside. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody. Let the fans tell you you're great. Don't let you tell you you're great. When they said, Ric Flair once said, when you're green you grow, when you're not you rot. The minute that you start to think you know everything about this business, it's time to go, because that's when people get hurt. Because you become sloppy and not so careful. You're still learning, and I'm going to break you of bad habits. And I like the Iron Sheik says, I will make you humble. I break your back. Fuck your ass. That's what I will do.
That is true.
Speaking of Iron Sheik, Bad Blood has an Iron Sheik story that he told me one time. He hates the Iron Sheik for one reason. He took the Iron Sheik to the airport, and Sheiky made him carry his bag. As he's walking with his bag through the airport, little did he know he had about a pound of marijuana in his bag. The drug dog sniffed the bag as BJ Garden has it in his hands, and they were going to arrest him. Wouldn't be the first time that he saw behind bars. Wouldn't be the last.
Well, he's black.
It's all righty. Get it right.
But,
No, BJ's not.
let's see.
It ain't right.
Spawn, what can I say about you? What can I say? It's tough. It's real tough. Except for there is a guy at work that looks exactly like you. The only difference is he speaks clearly. But no, honestly, you've become better in leaps and bounds over the years. You went from "Where's Me Gold" with Bob Spiker's butt juice on your face to
Ow!
That was nasty.
Boy Toy Billy. I don't know who the hell came up with that, but you were either a boy or a toy, or is it that you have boy toys at the house to lure them in with your van?
Victor!
You and Gigolo Jameson. The only person that should have the name Gigolo in this area is Steve Rosano. Because Steve Rosano earned it. He's not here tonight. I wish he were too. Oh, bad blood, bad blood. What you gonna do? Can you smile for a minute? I know the lights are on. I still can't see you. Black as night. If he were to go over to the U.S. Bank and hug the wall, you still wouldn't see him, even if he opened his eyes and his mouth. But I wouldn't suggest that because Portland PD is right down the street. They might think you're up to something. This is North Portland, and everybody is suspect. But you came in on a train, and you're right. You came to my house, and you slept. Well, now you're addicted to your phone, then you were addicted to the computer. And, you know, I'm going to do like this.
And white women.
And you fell asleep on my keyboard at the house. You did. You woke up and the word NIGGR was typed on your face. I don't know how that happened.
No!
I don't.
He's dropping the phone down.
Wait a minute, no. Not ER, NIGGA. I'm sorry, that was racist. That was very racist. NIGGA
We're not down there at the
was typed on your face. And when I asked how that happened, you said, niggas be scandalous. And that's how we roll. But I do remember the trip that we took to LA, or I took to LA. You told me to come down and promised me WrestleMania. I spent my own money to come on a plane to LA to get a rental car. You picked me up at the airport with Sexy Chino, who in Matt Legit's eyes is a kid with handicap capabilities.
Thank you.
kid.
Thank you. He's not sexy.
Sexy Chino will win every battle royal in Southern California, so it's no surprise when you see him come out number 30 that he goes out number 1.
Oh man, I know that Adam Pearce clean.
But
2 nights in a row.
you picked me up and we drove around, and I remember going to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Love Roscoe.
Oh, God.
And sitting, and none other than Snoop Doggy Dogg being in the same building. And Snoop had all the attention. He had the biggest, blackest, ugliest bodyguards ever. And I looked over and you guys said, "You are white. If you keep staring like that, you are going to get shot." So I turned around and I ate my grits. And we would roll. Jeremy Hardy is the only one who lives in a house in Compton. And he is one of 3 houses in a row that is actually not one that has boarded up windows, bars, and actually has a trampoline in the back. That is how Jeremy Hardy defies gravity. But we stayed in LA at DJ's sister's house. And Nisha, you can attest to this. DJ's sister loves to crank it up to about 95 degrees, no matter how hot it is outside. And it is very difficult to sleep. DJ decided that he was going to drive my car one day when we were going out, and he did not see the post that was in the driveway. How, I don't know, because he lives there. But we drove around and I said, hey, let's go down that street. Because BJ and Jeremy had said, niggas in LA don't get up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 11 o'clock. So guess what? I said, let's go down Watts.
Oh, you didn't.
We didn't want to go. He says, no, we don't go to Watts. Okay, let's cruise Crenshaw. Let's cruise Crenshaw. And he says, are you kidding me? No.
We're in a red car.
We in a red car.
What?
You're white. We be niggas. And we're not going to go down Crenshaw because we will get
Hell
shot.
no.
And I said, but you said they weren't up until 3. And it was 11:30. Does not matter. BJ is the only guy that I know that will take me to the Compton swap meet. He will look at the Asian lady who is selling the hoodies for more than they should be, and look at her and says, I know that you went down to TJ, and I know that you don't have a green card, so you're going to sell this hoodie to my boy for $30, no tax. And she says,
Okay.
we get 65, no tax. And she said, he says, $30, no tax. And she gives in. You and I have been around for, 4 years now? About 5 years. And there's never been a dull moment. And there have been times when things have lapsed, and there have been times that we've lost communication, and part of it's my fault. Some of it's your fault. But you know what? No matter what, like everybody says, it's a brotherhood, and we all love each other. And that will never end, no matter how bad things get. There will always be that. That's what people don't understand about professional wrestling is that no matter how much trash you talk, there's always that sense of brotherhood. But it's like a fraternity, like Roddy Piper says. And you know what? There's about 6 different fraternities in Portland, and some have cross members, and others just have social members. And those social members, they choose to stay with the people that they want to stay with. And I don't fault them for that. Brotherhood is a brotherhood, and friends are very, very, very hard to find in this business. And when you find one, you stick with it. You stick with it. Let's move on to Matt Legit.
Yeah, let's get with that. Yeah, let's get with him.
You and BJ.
That was the best song
All
ever.
the
You guys
things
sang
we said about
Keep
him.
playing, keep sweating.
How do you get mad? I don't.
Hey, where's my DVDs?
At my house. You're mad? I thought you were Triple B.
Oh, Tex, you're last. I'm saving the best for last. So, you can give him a hard time all you want. The more hard time you give him, the harder time I give you.
But seriously, doesn't it
Works
look like
for me.
Walter White got confused and ended up on the set of Sons of Anarchy?
Matt Legit,
Right here.
you and I met each other when you had long hair to the middle of your back. No beard.
Star
Damn,
Wars,
I've always-
Star Wars sheets.
I don't know about the Star Wars.
I still got
Okay,
Star Wars
no,
sheets on him.
No, you had a goatee. You didn't have a beard. But you had long hair and a goatee. And I fought the urge to come up and ask you where your candy van was parked in the parking lot.
Don't come near me right now.
I fought the urge to ask you what you were doing within 300 feet of the school zone. I fought the urge to ask you if you were the voice of Bert the Perv from the Family Guy.
Then you realized you were talking to Sign Guy. Oh, no?
But
Too soon?
when I met you, things were way different. And I was a Russian drinking vodka,
Mr. Vodka.
spitting things in the air, doing what we call violent dinner theater for about 35 people at the woodshed. The wetlands, the woodshed, it's some commie, it was named some Moscow's. They changed it to Moscow's. They did. They didn't even consult me to change it to Moscow's and ask me if I would be their mascot. But as the cold-hearted Russian that lost his pants every other week they tore the pants right off of me. You were there to either heckle or film. But I do remember the one time that we were in the Viper room and you were doing commentary, and it was me against Dr. Payne, and it was USA versus USSR.
Oh, God.
CCCP.
Yes, the CCCP. And I remember,
Bathroom's down that way.
I remember vaguely that I tried something that I'd never tried before. They had plastic tables at the Viper room. And they were covered with the tablecloths. They were red tablecloths. And I was like, I'm going to get up on this table. This is a great idea. I was about 8 shots of vodka to the wind because that's what people thought me, because I was Mr. Vodka. And I got up on this table and I went to jump off and drop an elbow on Bob Spiker as he laid on the floor. And the tablecloth slipped because it's plastic, and the leg on the table gave way, and he watched me just almost right on my face. The bad thing is that my face almost landed in Dr. Payne's cock, but the thing is that I'm not 13 and my name's not Ian, so
Oh shit, Felipe!
it wouldn't have fit. It wouldn't have fit.
Three-pointer.
Matt, you have done so much for the Pacific Northwest Wrestling team. From YouTube.com/legit wrestling that got shut down over a British video that nobody had ownership to legit.com, YouTube.com/legit pro wrestling, where you can see every single one of us on record and stuff. You have stuff that we don't have. And I'm glad that you have archived it from the bottom of my heart, because I don't have a lot of things left.
Hey, you still us DVDs.
All right, I'm done with you. That's the last.
YouTube.
He's got YouTube, but he doesn't get on the Facebook, or he doesn't Twitter. He doesn't do any of that.
No.
What he does do is that he gets up every morning, he puts on the Sam Elliott motivational tape, he goes through his closet and he goes, black jeans, black jeans, black jeans, black jeans, blue jeans, black jeans, black jeans, do-rag, black jeans with the prosthetics sewn in, black jeans with the prosthetics sewn in, do-rag, shell shirt. Here we go. Shell shirt, black jeans, prosthetic, sewn in. The reason why Tex Thompson gets tips is because when he asks them regular unleaded cash or card, the ladies are sitting there and they can't help but notice this boomerang.
That's Jay.
I thought Paul Hogan had a boomerang from Australia, but the term, that's not a knife, this is a knife, is a perfect term for Tex Thompson. You and I have been up and down the highway, the byway, the tryway,
Really?
San Francisco Bay. It doesn't, you know what, it really only matters in one thing, that there are so many stories that I could tell about Tex Thompson. And I told you that I could fill time, and I'm going to do so. You were the MC, so you like to tell these stories, and if it weren't for these drinks, I'd probably be passed out in that chair right now.
Several times over.
What you guys don't remember is Tex Thompson used to have long hair. Long hair.
In the back.
In the back.
Yeah, never had any on top.
You still only need
Now, before Catherine came around, there was a little promotion called the Oregon Championship Wrestling. And Tex Thompson was not Tex Thompson back then. He was the leather-clad, chain-carrying YMCA reject they like to call Iron Man.
Iron Man, Jack. Okay.
YMCA, yes. You and Psycho Sailor do that Kunsi Kunsa stuff
Well, that was the
we see on TV.
That was the
That's actually
idea
pretty
he
funny.
came up with, and he got stupid.
But Iron Man and I had shared locker rooms, we shared dressing rooms, and in the book that I am writing, not to expose too much for everybody, but, well, we didn't share women, because I can't follow the prosthetic. I can't even go to the porn shop and get Big Black and follow the prosthetic.
You told me you were using those extends.
What I can tell you is that we talk about the Christmas story.
Oh my God.
And the farmhouse, this is Walt Tex Thompson was single as Iron Man, and we were on a drinking binge. In the farmhouse, we were sitting in a booth, and there were two ladies. One very voluptuous, large Marge trucker-style lady
Well, that was the one that belonged to you.
No, that wasn't my Christmas present.
Damn.
And then there was another one. He set me up with this woman
Shit.
who in 2 weeks developed a fascination, and she used those 3 little words, I love you.
Oh.
Scared the crap out of me. You know what scared the crap out of me even more is that he would let me go home with this woman without even knowing her phone number, where she lived, what she drove, and if I was safe the next morning. I'm going to tell you that when I got back to this, you don't even know this, that when I got back to this woman's house, she lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and she had rats for pets.
No.
And they slept in the bedroom.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was a family affair.
So when you talk about rats and wrestling, I know firsthand about rats and wrestling.
That was a rat trap.
I was always a fan of you never get your honey where you get your money, and you never get your sex where you get your checks. But you talk about the term rat and wrestling, and she gave the new term to rat and wrestling.
That's a fact.
I cheated on her with another girl because I needed her to go, and that was the only way that she would go.
I know that.
She was a stage 5 cleaner. Swear to God, if you've seen Wedding Crashers, and the guy who likes to smack the guy, the girl smacking Vince Vaughn on the toilet, said, "Don't you ever leave me, because I will find you." She knew where I hung out. She knew where I wrestled, and the only way that I could do it is to pretend to be with another girl at a bar called the Meadows. That was our other hangout. She came in, and I swear to God, if I had a car, it probably would have been like that song, "Digging the Key," down the side of a pretty little 4-wheel drive, and my leather seats would be carved up.
That's when I had the Buick.
Yes, the Buick. Kodiak's missing tonight. You don't want to hear a story about Kodiak? I'll give you a story about Kodiak.
Yeah, why not?
Kodiak is my father bear. Kodiak was also my wingman. Kodiak didn't always drive a little white Honda that he barely fit in and honked the horn every time that he got into.
Thank God.
Kodiak used to drive a blue Ford F-250, a big blue Ford F-250 that would seat 4.
Yep.
Or him.
Kodiak, or him, and me in the bed of the truck. Kodiak worked at the refectory. Went by the name Big Daddy. Kodiak was a ladies' man.
My mom.
Somewhat.
Kodiak picked up.
Wanted to be a ladies' man.
You know what? I think
true.
you guys felt sorry for me because I wasn't that good with the ladies. Because
I mean,
Kodiak picked up another lady from the refectory who was a flight attendant from Minnesota.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Adrian.
No way.
Her name was Adrian. Yes.
Adrian, yep.
And the flight attendant had a friend. And you have women, you know, that when you go out with your friends, you have stages of friends. You have wing friends, you have mother hens, you have nurses and such. She had a mother hen friend who Kodiak ran interference for me, dropped me off at the airport because they had to return the rental car. And this woman was batshit crazy, severely. She got me in the elevator of the parking garage, and she pushed the emergency stop button. We were stuck, and Kodiak was calling me on my phone, and I couldn't answer her because she told me that if I answered, that he would never see me again. Again, you guys have a tendency to let me go home with people that you don't know their phone numbers, you don't know where they live, you don't know their license plate, and you don't know who they are. And for that, I give you one of these. And it's no surprise that I didn't have a child from age 19 to 31, 32, 32.
Who knows how old you are?
32.
I will be turning 34. I will be 34 tomorrow. And in case you didn't know, the woman sitting up front has seen me wrestle for the last almost 6 years, because we have been together for almost the last 5.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And at Rock and Roll Pizza, she would give me my slushie on Sunday. And that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship, because she knew the weight of my heart was through my stomach. If she knew that I was diabetic, she probably would have kicked my ass for having so many slushies. But she gave me a beautiful 2-year-old daughter, 2.5-year-old daughter now, who has taken on Dad's traits as far as attitude goes.
Sorry.
She has Mama's good looks, Daddy's bad temper. But I love her as much as I love her. Wrestling has been good to me. And, I forgot about Rocky Classic.
Who?
I'm still waiting the stories for me.
Well, you want more stories?
Go for it, son.
You want to sit down?
I'm good where I'm at.
Okay, because this one's going to knock your socks off. This one's going to absolutely knock your socks off.
Go for it.
Text Thompson.